Hi, beautiful ladies. It's Sarah, and today I'm doing something that I have been wanting to do for a long time, which is a cooking video. So, today I made chicken pesto pasta. And what it is, it's pesto with some tomatoes, some diced chicken, and pasta. And this is angel hair pasta. And it's really delicious, and I'm just going to gnaw down on this while I'm editing this video. Alright guys, so I'm going to get started by just making sure that we have our hands clean. My hands are all washed up. I'm going to take all my jewelry off because, one, we don't want any jewelry while we're cooking because you don't want anything falling into anyone's food or anything like that. Two, we're going to be working with raw chicken, and you don't want that in your food. Number one thing for me and for pretty much any cook is to keep a clean space. Keep everything clean. I keep a wet, soapy rag nearby. I keep a dry towel nearby. I have paper towels. I even have hand sanitizer. I just like everything to be very clean, and yeah, especially when you're working with raw items like chicken. Chicken has a lot of bacteria that can kill you. You always want to make sure that chicken is cooked all the way through, which is 165 degrees. And to do that, you use your little temp. Also, another way of checking the doneness of your chicken is to, you can give it a poke or a little, just like a little cut, and you want to see the juices running clear out of the chicken. What I have in front of me, which is everything I'm going to need, this is going to be a very, very simple recipe. It's something that I love to make. It's really fast, it's really easy, and it looks like you've just created this very expensive, wonderful dish when it's not that difficult at all. So I have 2 tomatoes, and these are already washed. I haven't quite taken the core out yet. I have garlic, and I'm probably just going to use 2 cloves of this. I have about a tablespoon or like a tablespoon and a half of butter. If you don't want to use butter, you can use, Pam, or you can also use oil. I just love butter because it's French cooking, and I just love butter on everything. And again, with cooking, especially for me, it doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to worry about having that exact amount of anything. I am a very pinch of salt, pinch of this kind of a cook. Alright. And I use kosher salt. I know a lot of people like sea salt, a lot of people like table salt, like iodized salt. I prefer kosher salt. So what I'm going to start with is my dry ingredients. What I'm going to start with is my garlic. And I'm just going to pick off a couple cloves. And it's always nice to have a garbage can right nearby, because then you don't have to worry about having a huge mess on your station. So those are a couple good-sized cloves. I always have garlic nearby. I love it. So those are my garlic cloves. They're a good size. And what I'm going to do with the garlic cloves is they are just going to add flavor to my chicken as my chicken is cooking. I know some people like to use garlic salt and things like that. I try to stick with all fresh flavors, which you're going to laugh because I'm not, I'm using canned pesto, which I will put a recipe for how to make pesto, homemade pesto, down below, but today I'm just using that. You can also use the packaged pesto because it also gives you a lot of flavor, and that one is an easy one. You just mix it with water and oil and cook it on your stovetop, and it's good to go. So basically what I did was I just peeled my garlic cloves. I gave them a little smash. That makes them easier to peel, and that also just breaks them down a little so they're a little easier to cut. I cut off the end, the little butt part, I guess you could call it, and that part's not an appetizing part of the garlic, so we just cut that off and get rid of it. And I'm doing chopped, and there's a big difference between chopped and minced. So chopped is just basically going to be not crushed. So usually when you're mincing, you do a different technique with the knife, which is sort of a crushing technique. This, we're just cutting through. And when you're cutting something, you want to make sure not to have your fingers out like this, because that's the easiest way to lose a fingertip. You want to keep them curled up and just keep a good grip on the item that you're cutting. And don't feel like you have to chop super fast. I still, I've been cooking for a while, and I still don't chop super fast because my fingers are very important to me, and I don't want to lose them, and I don't want to lose track of where I am. Especially with certain items like tomatoes are a little soft, and they have two different textures. They have a harder skin, and then the inside is very soft, so it's easy to kind of, let me get this out of the way because that's bright and plate. So it's easy to sort of slip and lose what you're doing. All right. So I sliced it, and now I'm just going back and just giving it a hard chop. So just, you want to make sure that, it looks like a good even chop with all the garlic. It's not too much, it's just enough. And one of my favorite things about cooking with garlic is what we're going to do is throw this garlic and butter into the pan, and I'm just going to clean off my knife real quick because the garlic gets very sticky. But you put garlic and butter in a pan, and everyone that is at your house, or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, they are going to be like, you are cooking the most expensive meal in the world. What is that? It's immediately just like love for the senses. It's just great. So back here I have just a pan. I have a non-stick pan. I got these. I have so many pans, but I stick with these ones. I think these are from Costco. Kind of medium-sized pot, and it's about 3/4 of the way filled with water. And that's going to be for my noodles. On the part about being safe with your different types of foods are these cutting boards that I picked up at, I think I got them at Target, yeah. Actually, my sister got these for my birthday, and she got them at Target. And they're color-coded, or they're color organized. So you have your green for your vegetables, you have your yellow for your poultry, I have red for red meat, and then I have a white one for fish, for fish. So those come in so handy, so you just use the right color for the right item, and you're good to go. I'm going to take a sip of soda just because it's kind of a lot of talking, and I'm thirsty today. I'm going to scoot that aside, and then I'm going to bring over my chicken. And the chicken breast that I have is pretty small. Usually if I had a bigger piece, I would slice it in half lengthwise, but this is pretty small. What I'm going to do is, I have it wrapped in plastic right now, and that's what I thawed it in. I thawed this on my counter on a plate, but you don't want to do that. That's a no-no, so don't do what I said. I just wanted to get this done really quick so I can get this video made. But what you want to do is you always want to thaw all your foods in a refrigerator. When you're at room temperature or below for foods like this, it's like a bacteria haven. And you don't want to leave food like this out. But like I said, do as I say. I didn't leave this out long enough to really harbor any bacteria. So I think we're good to go. No one's dying of freaking salmonella tonight. Alright, so chicken breasts, you don't really want to go too crazy, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm sorry, my nose is running. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I like to just, I guess, beat my chicken a little bit. This sounds really dirty. That's what she said? I don't know. But I'm just going to give it just a little bit of love. Like, this is kind of what you usually do if you are doing like a stuffed chicken or something, but I just like it to be really tender, and I like a little to sort of go a long way. So I just beat it a little with just the perforated side of my mallet, and that's it. Loosen some of the fibers. Now chicken, especially the chicken breast, it's not as fibrous as say like a steak or flank steak or something like that. So yeah, you don't have to do that. That's just a step that I usually take when I'm doing my chicken. So I didn't grab another knife, so I need to wash my hands really quick. I sharpen my knives before every use. Now, this isn't technically sharpening your knife. This is really just keeping it from getting too dull. You actually want to use a knife block to sharpen your knives. And if you're interested, I can show you how to sharpen knives. I do have a knife block and a really nice one that I've had forever. But I'm going to use a different knife for this, just for the sake of being safe. I can't say enough how you have to be pretty safe with chicken. But I'm going to use a different knife. It's not necessary. You can just as easily wash that and go back and forth. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut lengthwise. And I'm using long, even cuts, which is why you want to have a good sharp knife. Because if you do this motion, it's going to make your food look really, or make your chicken look really, I mean, that actually kind of does anyway, just because I'm going, just because the way I'm going against the grain of the chicken. But you don't want to tear your food apart by doing this motion. And I'm just going to cut it this way. And what are we doing? We're just doing a little, kind of a medium dice on our chicken. Washing my hands. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn my pan onto, wait, which one is it? I always mess up with the little dots. So that's that one. I have an electric stove, and I'm going to turn it on like just medium high. So that's going to heat up. We'll let that heat up for a second. I'll tell you in the meantime, I'm going to use some angel hair pasta for this. The best pasta to use, in my opinion, is penne. And that's the pasta that's about this big. If you can see that, it's about that big. And it has the little hole in it. And that's my favorite to use. This, if you're going to use a canned pesto, I have Classico. And this stuff smells so, this is so good. You can literally just dip in this stuff. I dip bread in it, and I'm a happy camper. Alright, I'm Instagramming, sorry. Okay, so now my pan is hot. And I'm just going to take my butter. I'm going to place that in there, like that. Let that move around a little. Yeah. So I can put that on there, and that's what you want to do is you want to melt your butter, but you don't want your butter to brown. So you want it to just get that bubbly, foamy feeling, and just get that foamy look. So it'll look kind of like that. And you don't want it to start changing colors. You don't want it to start getting brown, because when your butter starts getting brown, that's when your flavor changes. It's not like a fresh buttery flavor anymore. It's like it just not like a burnt flavor, but it's just a flavor combination that's completely different. So quickly, before we get that happening, I turn the heat down just a little bit, and I'm going to take my garlic that I chopped and pop that in there. Alrighty. And where is my spoon? Just gonna mix that around. And you're not cooking your garlic, you're just trying to get it aromatic. Like once you start smelling it, boom, that's it. It doesn't take long at all. Season it while it's on the, you can season it at any time, but I'm gonna just toss it in. Sink. And then I'm just going to give it a couple pinches of kosher salt. You don't want to overdo it with any kind of like flavorings or in itself. So we'll just move that around, let it get all the flavor. Keep turning it down a little bit. Itself away, and then we're going to turn our water on to start boiling. And I'm going to add some salt, because that just raises the temperature so it boils a little faster. And what I like to do, and this is just me, is I like to add a little flavor to my noodles. So I'm going to add a bouillon cube, chicken bouillon cube, to my water. And that's just me, I don't know. I just like that little added flavor. This is what I'm going to use. It's just one of these smaller knives. I'm sure you have one. It's almost like a steak knife, but it's shaped just a little bit differently. It's just a little more even on each side. This is what I refer to as my chef's knife. And as you can see, it's just the way it's shaped is a little more sturdy. You can just see. Has like room for chopping. I am just going to pour out this top part, and I'm just doing it in like just sideways a little bit, so you're just basically digging it out just like that. Cut them like that, and then boom, boom, boom. And I will put those in here. I think I'm actually only going to need one. So I'm just going to do one tomato. And don't be afraid to taste your food a lot bigger, because basically what this is going to do is absorb the water and expand. So what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to cut it in half, or rip it in half, toward my pot. So I have two smaller, little chunks of pasta. I actually like my pasta a little bit what you would call al dente, which just means a little toothy. How would you say it? Like not cooked all the way, just a little bit hard. Like some vegetables, you like it with a little bit of crunch, like asparagus or something. It just means not cooked all the way, all the way to where it's almost mushy. So while that's going, I'm going to time out the video. Alright guys, so I don't have a method for knowing when your pasta's done. You hear some people, when you throw it on the wall and it sticks, that means it's done. Well, that usually means it's like overdone. So the best thing you can do is just taste it. That's done. And we'll drain that out. Make sure that's off. Here we go. And I just have my big bowl. And I'll just stick that straight in there. That can stay in the sink. And then I'm going to go from there to my chicken. And now my chicken's off. You can see how my chicken looks right there. We're just going to dump that in there as well. Alright. So now what I'm going to do, take my pesto. So you're not just getting a bunch of the greasy oil in your food. And it's really just to your own discretion how much you want to put in there. But I don't know, that looks like about half cup. Maybe a little more. This stuff is very, very strong. It's very potent. Ooh. It's very potent, so that, grab a spoon. I'm just going to use this guy. And I'm just mixing it all up. Get all that flavor on all of the noodles. It smells so freaking good. Oh yeah. That's a winner right there. And And then last but not least, I'm going to add my tomatoes. It just gives it that pop of color, and it's just the perfect flavor combination for sure. All right. So that's all mixed together. And there's different ways you can serve this. I actually like to serve it with I serve everything on white plates just because it makes your food pop. It doesn't distract from what it is you're serving. But I actually like to serve my... I just lost everything that I was talking about or thinking about or whatever. I like to serve this on a white plate. And I'll just give it a little twist just like that, nice and pretty. And I usually top this off with some Parmesan, just some dry Parmesan. You can buy like the packets of Parmesan, or I will do mozzarella with this too, just like little pieces of mozzarella. It's just delicious with this dish as well. Let's give it a try because I am hungry. So get a little chicken in there, a little tomato. Just want to get a little everything in there. Get the full effect, the full flavors. That's perfect. Have so many flavors. So easy to do. And anyone that you have with you that's eating it is just going to think that you're just the bomb at cooking. Like I said, I usually make this with the penne pasta just because it gets the pesto and like the little crevices of it, and it's so good. But I also like angel hair pasta because it's so little and it's delicate and cute. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful and that you got a lot out of it. Hopefully I can do this every week as well. And if you have any suggestions or anything that you would like to see me make, I urge you to leave a comment down below for suggestions. And I will see you guys tomorrow for What's in My Cart Wednesday. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Bye-bye.